All right, here comes part two. So I'm going to walk the circumference of my property and see what that distance equals. Suppose I could have done some math. My guess is it's going to be a mile or real close to it. So this is along the road. Got a lot of volunteer trees that come up, and those are the cedars I planted. And I got some trees there next to the cedars I need to cut out. I don't want those growing there. They got thorns about that long. Not the type of, and they get big. I mean, that's what those trees are out there, is those. And I just don't really want them in my property. This is the drive the neighbor put in. I put a chain to keep people out of his area, although there's different ways in, but probably needs to come in and mow. The weeds are going to be taking over here pretty quick. So yeah, there's lots of rocks here, but they're not mine. So these are not the ones I collect. So those are the cedars. I know the coyotes like to sit in there from time to time. And I think I'm going to kick over the bean field. Just because it's a... Oh look, nice little rock. Should have brought my bucket. But I can carry a rock or two. Or I can stack them in areas and come back for them. So the evergreens, I dug those up and they're about a foot tall from my parents' place and planted them out here. And they're starting to produce some really nice habitat. And then there's some volunteers. About 85 degrees right now. My tolerance for heat has increased greatly since I now work next to a bunch of furnaces and heat treatment. So where I work, it averages between 97 and 107, depending on what the temperature outside is, which makes it very interesting, to say the least. Sometimes walking down here, you can come up to some snakes warming up in the sun, probably earlier in the morning. There's a trailer full of scrap wood, and the neighbor who lives behind me says that's where those fox snakes hang out. They're really cool. They're like 4.5 feet, 5 feet long. Really, really beautiful snakes. I haven't seen them before, and that opportunity to video that 4.5 footer was really one of those highlights in my day. And that's out there. I called it a rat snake, but under further investigation, it was actually a fox snake. Rat snakes just don't get that big. Generally what you find out here is rat snakes and corn snakes and garter or garden snakes, as they're called, for the most part. Rattlesnakes are around, but they're very rare. Copperheads too, but they're rare also. I seen one in the Mazon River. Actually curled up next to me when I was fishing, and my buddy was laughing. He goes, "Hey, you got company." I said, "Nah, I see that." He goes, "What are you gonna do about it?" I said, "I ain't gonna do anything." I said, "He's not bothering me, and I ain't gonna bother him." So I found a bunch of rocks, more than I can carry. So what I'm gonna do is just put them here in a little pile, and then come back for them on my next walk with a bucket. So that's one little area. That's what I found for my rock garden. You gotta have hobbies. What can I say? So here's that wood pile. I kicked out a bobcat here the other day. I'm 80% sure that's what it was. I didn't get a very good look at him. And here's a board. Let's see if there's anything underneath it. I used to do this when I was a kid all the time. Lift up boards and see if there were snakes. So no snake this time. No big deal. Like I said, they're probably out hunting. And then they'll probably come for cover later on. So here's the field corn. Like you can see how it's curled up. We haven't had rain for a week now. And it doesn't look like we're going to get any this week either. So the corn is starting to show some stress. And it is knee high in most parts. But if we do get a rain, it'll double in size overnight. There's where I go in back in the woods, but I'm wearing shorts, and I'm not going back in the woods in shorts. Lots of poison ivy out here. And though it doesn't bother me that much, I don't necessarily, a little rock. I like it. It's a little flat one. I'm going to keep it. Not necessarily something I'm going to press my luck with, if you know what I mean. So corn. Yes, I let the farmer use, and he pays me. But we could use a rain. But field corn can stay stressed for a while, and then it'll recover. Here's a big rock. I'll see if I can keep this one in my hand. So, oh, here we go. And it doesn't hurt to have a big rock in your hand anyway, in case a coyote decides to come around and do something stupid. And it would be stupid on his part. So I've just hit the halfway point of my property. And we'll figure out the whole distance. I'll post that on my community page once I'm done. I don't think I can really look at it and keep the camera going. Well, they're asking, do I do cardio? I said, well, this is my cardio. It's enjoyable. Yeah, you get to learn more about your area. Opportunity to find new wildlife that's in your area. I mean, you'll never see it if you don't walk out there. So something kicked through there. Probably a rabbit. You can see this is a very dry area of the corn. Well, you can't because I got it turned the wrong way. This probably flooded out and killed it first, and then dried out. More corn. And then I'm going to have some weeds I'm going to have to walk through. But it'll still give me a pretty accurate reading. Let me kick over one more row. There we go. And, it's a nice walking pace. Actually, there's a really nice big old oak tree. And it'll drop a lot of acorns here. Before they farmed it, they had a few trees growing. They cut out. Not too happy about that, but it is what it is. You see in the shade, sometimes that's when you'll find some reptiles rusting because it's cooler. And being out in the sun, and they have to regulate their temperature. Oh, there's a rock. I think I can carry this one too. There we go. That'll be about it. All the other ones will have to leave. So this is all my property. Something I really, really wanted ever since I was a kid. I got 14 acres. I grew up on 5. My grandparents had like 120 acres at one time. Then they would sell parcels off when the market was good. I think they still had about 60 acres before they passed away. And I use this one for a little income for Christmas presents. It'll probably be a time where I'll decide I just want to have it go back to field and have the DNR come out and just plant it. So here we got a big branch that fell over, but I got a trail, got an animal trail here. So this is probably where some deer will bed from time to time. You can tell they move through here. A lot of times I'll just follow the animal trails, you know, because they're gonna pick kind of the easiest way to get through. Right here it's just tall grasses. And then you come into an area like this, which is not tall grasses. This is what poison ivy looks like. And trust me, folks, if you're allergic to it, it's a no fun. Now, I'm pretty tolerant to it. I know my wife and my son get it quite easily. So, but she doesn't walk out this area anyway. Has some sandpipers saying, hey, you're getting too close. I'm going to have to walk out this way. Wouldn't surprise me if I kicked a deer out of here at all. If I was a deer and I wanted to relax during the day, this would be a good place to do it. All these trees are volunteers. I didn't plant them. These are lots of weeds. Surprised I haven't kicked something out already. And I'll cut across back here to the area I've mowed out and walk to the mailbox, and we'll call that a lap. Maybe I'll divert to the pond and drop these 2 rocks off because it's right here. Then just have to remember I need to go back and get those 6 that I put in that pile there. So, back to my growing rock pile. Rock piles are good habitats for